FSU fans should be thankful for what Jimbo brought us in the past, but also should be pretty thankful that he's not our coach anymore and that Mike Norvell has the reins of the program in Tallahassee. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. Do me a favor and hit the like button. Also subscribe, share, leave your comments below with your thoughts. Now, I'll preface all of this by saying that while Jimbo was here, yes, he recruited very, very well. He absolutely struck lightning in a bottle with Jameis Winston. Everything meshed together perfectly, and the Noles won a national championship. We should be thankful for that. But after that season, he was never the same. All in all, should be thankful for what he did, but also should be thankful that he's someone else's problem now. Why? Why should FSU fans be thankful that he's no longer the coach in Tallahassee? Well, number one, Jimbo's teams are still failing to show up against absolute nobodies that they should dominate. We all remember NC State in 2012, Georgia Tech in 2016, most of the 2017 season. But all that's still happening. Losing to App State this year, dropping games to Mississippi State and South Carolina, just brutal. Meanwhile, one of Mike Norvell's greatest strengths is getting his team absolutely up for every single game. At 0-4 last year, Mike Norvell found a way to get his team up for that Syracuse game, and they came out and they played their tails off and won a close game at the end. That would have been an easy game that the Noles could have just mailed it in, but they didn't. They continue to get up for games, and that's really not a struggle here in Tallahassee anymore. Jimbo's also pretty terrible at clock management, whether it be end of half, knowing when to use and how to use timeouts, end of game situations. Jimbo just can't seem to get it right with pretty horrible clock management, something that cost him in Tallahassee, something that for some reason he still struggles with at A&M. Next up, Jimbo's just kind of a condescending jerk. And a lot of people are when they're winning, and that's not a big problem. It's one thing to scream in kids' faces and talk down to them and bash the media and throw your players under the bus when your team is winning. It's another when your team's dropping games that they shouldn't be. When you don't have your team prepared to play against some of the weakest teams on the schedule, maybe it's time to scream in a mirror instead of your players. Number four, we've not seen this at A&M just yet, but trying to fight with fans. We'll never forget when Jimbo walked off the field in Tallahassee and told a fan to bring his ass down there and say that after the fan was yelling, new coaches, after the Louisville loss. I understand that coaches are humans and we all have emotions, but this will always be the wildest thing to me. A multimillionaire getting paid to coach a football game, verbally going at it with what appeared to be a college student. The picture is actually of Derek Satterfield, FSU Sports Information Director for Football, ushering Jimbo away from the situation, probably thinking to himself, what in the world are you doing? Why did you just make my job this much more difficult? Iconic memory at the end of that tenure. Number five, this hasn't started at Texas A&M yet either, but it's nice to not have a coach that is literally flirting with other programs every single offseason. I know Mike hasn't had enough success to probably warrant this just yet, but it is nice to be done with that drama from Jimbo. At the same time, Jimbo is not having enough success right now to really warrant that at A&M, so maybe something that they don't have to deal with either. But the continual back and forth of, are you taking this job? Are you leaving us? Are you going here? Are you going to be our coach next year? It's nice for that drama to be gone. It's nice when you see other coaches just absolutely shut that down. That's something Jimbo absolutely refused to do in his time here. Meanwhile, in Norvell, you've got a guy that his players absolutely love. A guy who stays composed on the sideline and with fans and with his players, has a good rapport with the university, its boosters, and more. You've got someone who has the complete faith of the locker room as opposed to someone who is seemingly starting to lose their locker room in College Station. Mike Norvell has a long way to go until he's considered as good of a coach as Jimbo Fisher, or until he has the accolades of Jimbo Fisher. But Florida State fans should be very thankful that the clown show is now in College Station and that the think pieces being written by the national media and those who cover the sport are not about the head coach in Tallahassee anymore. Those problems are gone for now, and FSU fans should be thankful that they're not having to deal with it. What ends up happening with Jimbo Fisher, I'm not sure. This is our second video we've done in the last couple of months about Jimbo, how the cracks are starting to show up, how the same problems that plagued him in Tallahassee that we've talked about this morning are now plaguing him in College Station. What ends up happening? Does he end up making it through this year? Does he end up making it through next year? We know about the buyout. We know how big it is. But there are some obvious issues, and they're the same issues that plagued him in Tallahassee. None of this, obviously, having to do with his on-the-field coaching. It's more about the person that he seems to be. We'll see what ends up happening going forward. It'll be kind of a spectacle to watch, I'm sure. See if any fans are threatened or if rumors of other jobs come up. Might need a little success to happen in College Station for that one to matter. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I know that Mike Norvell is not perfect. I know that there are a lot of things that he can improve on. And again, he's got a long way to go until he's considered as good of a coach as Jimbo was at one point. But what are your thoughts? Are you thankful that this clown show is now in College Station and not in Tallahassee? Are you thankful that Mike Norvell is our coach? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Again, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys again soon. Go Noles.